Peace. Welcome to the Real HD Show, the higher discussion. I'm your host, Vic. This is the show that you're going to see and hear on these and many other airwaves where we talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of our culture, and we celebrate it with freedom music. Freedom music happens 7:30 to 8 o'clock on these airwaves. You punch in this code here. It brings you backstage, and you can rock out with us on the Real HD Show. Yeah. So we're here. We're doing it. We with you. It's a hump day. Show in the middle of the week. How y'all doing? I hope y'all pursuing everything that's righteous and available to you. Like, share, and subscribe. Turn on all your comments and turn on your notifications so every time we have a Real HD show, you guys can tap in with us and have a higher discussion, just like this person here. Sister Aurora, what's going on with you?
Hi, how are you?
We are doing dope. Let me bring in proper light.
Thank you.
Yeah, give you a little clap. How you doing? What's going
I'm
on?
good. I'm good. Getting
Awesome.
back straight.
Yeah, man. Awesome, sis. Awesome to have you. We got a couple of offerings for you. So we gotta, I guess we'll talk about it off screen about how we can get those to you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. So let me finish going over the beginning of the show. So make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe so y'all can turn on all your notifications. So tonight you can rock out with us and have a higher discussion as well. All right, man. So we're here tonight. We're doing it. We got Sister Aurora on tap. We want more of y'all on tap. Everybody in the Real HD chat, y'all jump in here. Everybody on the Real HD chat and Facebook, y'all jump in here. Or y'all jump in the comments. Let's do it real big. Let us talk about it. Before we do anything else, let's pay a couple of bills. Total Package Energy, Melanated Company, Olympic tested, people approved, Zips, teas, water, gels, vitamins, everything you guys might need for speed to get you up to doing what you have to do so you don't have 3 or 5 o'clock crash at the end of your day, or you might have a second day. Some of us might have kids to take care of, to run around to all sorts of activities, or you may have a second job. Jump on Total Package Energy. Tell them the Real HD Show sent you. Are you detecting a little bit of a echo?
Yeah.
Just about a little bit. All right, let me go backstage real quick and let me turn down the volume just a smidgen, because that might be what's responsible for echo.
I was trying to check to make sure it wasn't me.
Yeah. Make sure in your backstage, if you can, put on your echo cancellation. That helps. All right. So we moving on. We keep it strong. We on the Real HD Show. It's a Wednesday. Our sponsor. And now we're gonna jump into our elders and ancestors blueprint on the show. Let us know what you think about it, and we're gonna get into it when we come on back from this. In a elders and ancestors blueprint, and we're gonna jump right into none other than the Moses of our folks, Marcus Garvey. What does he have to say, and what does he have to add to us on a Black History Month? Elders and Ancestors Blueprint. Let's check it out.
Marcus Garvey, a Jamaican activist, founded the Black Star Line Company through his United Negro Improvement Association in 1919 to transport Africans and blacks to Africa. Garvey advocated self-education and black separation from whites to achieve economic and political power, telling followers they would never find justice or freedom in America. The Black Star Line bought a dilapidated ship and renamed it the SS Frederick Douglass, painting it the colors of the UNIA. The unseaworthy ship sank shortly in 1921 after leaving port. With over 1,000 passengers, they were forced to abandon ship and rescued by a passing British vessel. The sinking of the SS Frederick Douglass damaged Garvey's reputation, but not his resolve to promote black repatriation and economic independence. Garvey's sale of stock in the Black Star Line led to federal charges of fraud. In 1925, he was convicted of fraud and deported, his movement collapsing amid criticism from both whites and blacks.
Okay, so that was our elders and ancestors blueprint on Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And although some of the, I guess, later exploits of the brother leaves a lot to be desired, as far as how his state in America ended, nonetheless, he had not just one ship, but 4 ships, and they're all in West Africa right now, waiting for us to revitalize them for our mobility around the planet. Sister Aurora, what do you think of the Black Star Line, Marcus Garvey?
My great-great-grandmother was a Garveyite.
Nice.
Yes, and went to Manhattan where they had that huge demonstration of what it could be like. Yes, so we used to always talk about that.
Fire.
It was a great time,
Fire.
Entrepreneur from day one,
Right. So what a lot of people don't realize when you talk about the Black Star Line, it wasn't just to transport people back and forth from Africa. It was also to create international commerce and mobility, something that is sorely missing. And Sister Aurora, let me ask you a question. If we're pulled over and profiled by the authorities, and some of the encounters end up in some dangerous situations, some people losing their lives, going to jail, etc. And it's been happening for over I would say the last 40 or 50 years since Black people have been, endowed enough to travel, right? Oh yeah, no doubt. Give me 1 second. Let me let Luck on the screen. So you in, big bro? How you doing?
Peace, Sister Aurora.
How are you?
All right,
yeah,
all
man.
right.
So we're building on Marcus Mosiah Garvey and our ancestors and elders blueprint. We're building on the Black Star Line.
The forerunner.
Yes, sir. So I was asking Sister Aurora, with the way that a lot of our folks are profiled right now for just driving around in our, automobiles or our, conveyance, as they say, the proper way to say it.
As they don't want to say.
Right. They don't want to say that part. Like, the legal definition of it, right? Does that strike at and whenever they can, they try to limit the ability for us to get in that sort of a frame and be mobile? Does that strike at the heart of mobility? And how can we develop as a people if our mobility is always being questioned and diverted? Your thoughts?
Yeah, you know what? I want to get a little more clarification on what you're asking with that again, if you don't mind rephrasing one more time.
Okay, so we're talking about the Black Star Line, and the Black Star Line with Garvey was one of the ultimate ways that we could be mobile on the planet.
Okay.
It was designed to take us to and from the continent, and even though it had a dubious ending, it wasn't. We need things like that right now. We need franchises like that now, so we could be mobile as a people, be global, and not be dependent. I mean, I know Sister Aurora is paying attention to all these airlines and how the planes are going down all over the place, and that makes you not even trust the ability to fly. You know what I mean? So if we're always being profiled within these automobiles or these auto conveyances, as it were, does that strike at the heart of hindering mobility for our folks? And does Marcus Garvey's Black Star Line give you hope, or let's just say, does that inspiration, correct, about the mobility of our people and how important it is?
Yes, I concur. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I would say that it would give inspire. It could give. I'm not gonna say it does. I'm gonna say it
Mm-hmm.
could, if
Mm-hmm.
researched, if popularized, anything like that, in popular media, like how they just like we were discussing a few weeks ago, they're just starting to talk about the Black Wall Street on mainstream CBS app stations and stuff, which is a big deal. I mean, it is what it is. We might figure, oh yeah, they just started talking about that, but they're talking about it. You know what I mean? So it could be that to me was inspirational for those who hadn't seen it. I know it had to be a little inspiration. Look at Game. Game was running around here talking about his cruise called the Black Wall Street. So there's some form of inspiration there. You know what I mean? And the
Right.
same thing with the Black Star Line. There's potential for that to be an inspiration. You see, like our ignorance as a whole, not individually, like you two folks are enlightened beings. You know what I'm saying? Sister Aurora she pretty much was like the beacon of being an enlightened being because she had a bookstore in Hempstead, like the
Oh
first
shoot!
one
I
that
didn't know
put
I was in the
knowledge,
presence of an
right?
enlightened being. Let me. Let
Right.
me. Let me. Oh,
Hey,
No,
hey,
you
I'm
were,
teasing.
brother.
I'm
You
teasing.
enlightened.
both of y'all. Yeah, I said that for both of y'all. Y'all enlightened
Mhm.
beings. You know what I'm saying? But
Facts.
my thing is like this though. My thing is like this. If the veil of ignorance is lifted, and that's a heavy veil because you're talking about social studies books versus real world history books and so forth, right? You're talking about books that would just say what the people did versus trying to label them what you think they are, you know? You open up a history book and instead of seeing Stokely Carmichael, one of the villains of the 60s with the Black Power movement, you know what I'm saying? If you just speak to the man's works, oh yeah, he was into socialism, yada yada yada, for the people, and all this stuff. It'd be a different story told, right? So my thing is like this: is the heavy veil of ignorance by many different means that it was conjured up on us, right? Like, okay, Marcus Garvey with the Black Star Line. What about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? Popular media will talk about Malcolm X. You would swear Malcolm X created and invented the Nation of Islam the way they talk. The way they
Yeah.
talk is as if no Malcolm X, no Nation of Islam, when it's the other way around.
Right.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So
Right.
my thing is like, let's talk about Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Marcus Garvey. Honorable Elijah Muhammad was here to further the works of Marcus Garvey and Noble Drawley out of the man's own mouth. What did he do? He had his own plane. He had his
Right.
own farms. He had his
Yes.
own stake and take business. He
Hey,
was
hold
employing
on,
his people.
real quick. Go back into 2021. Look at
Mhm.
the episode of the Real HD show that talked about that. That was heavy. Continue, bro.
Okay, no sweat, no sweat. There you go. So you see, it's boomeranging back again, right? Because guess what? Like we talking about Marcus Garvey, they still don't get the message, or else
Mm.
we wouldn't have to keep, regurgitating this message, right? So you look at a
Mhm.
guy like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Honestly, take away the media's attack on him and his character by utilizing Malcolm X as a tool against him always when it shouldn't even be like that. You know what I mean? Because before Brother Malcolm moved on, as El Haj Malik El Haj Shabazz, I mean, the brother wanted to come back in. There's proof of it. What did he want to come back to after all of that stuff that went on between them and the media? What did he want to come back to? Not something worth going back to? He wanted to come back to a nation that was worth, if I'm guessing correctly, like 40 to 80 million dollars in its time in its prime. All right, it was the best the nation had ever been as a religious corporation. Let's call it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? So with all that said, is like when you talk about the Black Star Line, yeah, with the proper light on it, it could be an inspiration for us. Because when we look around, who got ships? Look, I might be a little bit ignorant, but I don't know any like large black corporation that owns ships right now. I don't. Now it
Right.
could be out there. It
Now,
could
hold
be out there,
real
but I
quick. Let
don't
me
know.
get Sister Aurora involved. I'm gonna take
Sure, by
Sister
all means.
Aurora back about maybe a year and a half ago, when all
Mm-hmm.
those
Mhm.
ships parked outside of Manhattan Harbor,
Mhm.
and it was right
Fleet
around the
Week.
holidays, and all Biden had to do was snap his fingers, and now
Mm-hmm.
the stores were stocked up again. The shelves are stocked up again, right in time for Christmas time. Does that show the power of mobility on the seas? Your thoughts, Sister Aurora?
It does. That was a time, and still, unfortunately, there aren't too many shipyards or ships being commanded by Black people. It was the biggest thing during that year, where every time, I mean, that was after the hurricane and everything, and then they didn't have the whole SOAR coming in, and I think they called it the Big Stick. It was the Big Stick is the USS Iowa, and it is captained by one of the Black captains. And they said, well, we can go to New York, and we come to New York during Memorial Day, so we can get there. But it was the USS Iowa. That's the one that they called the Big Stick came in, and all these Black soldiers came off of it. Navy men that came off of it, and it's so that one I remembered. And then I also remembered the Jefferson, another, and it was not probably by design, but it seemed like that those two ships, their captains were Black, and their lieutenants and first lieutenants, the core of that fleet was Black. And so I say, that showed how we do, and like that showed how we do. But they were American ships, the USS Iowa and the USS Jefferson. And I only remember that because those were the Black captains, and when they came off, everybody was like, we're the first, they call it the first officers were all Black. And so that was kind of cool.
Excellent.
See, that's beautiful. Look at this. Look what this conversation just brought up, right? Look at that. Now we can rewind this and check this out, take our notes, right?
Please, everybody who's watching the Real HD show, make sure y'all vet whatever we're talking about. Whatever we show you, video, play, pick, article, vet it, come back and have a discussion about it. Go ahead, Sister Ro. Go ahead. Right.
Now, when we were talking about, the how we were inspired, by Garveyites and things like that. Do y'all remember? And this is 1984, so young blood there won't know that, but when Louis Farrakhan, Honorable Minister Farrakhan, came on Donahue's show,
yes,
wasn't that like in the 80s? Remember?
Yes.
And I mean, 4:00 stopped. Okay?
Yes.
And so when Donahue wanted to have part 2, something happened with the network. The network was like, because he had gone. It was. I always remember that because Phil Donahue, not only had brought people home early, okay, because it was 4:00 the show was, but I always remembered that. And then when he wanted to do part 2, something happened to Channel 7. The network was all confused. And then I think the next time it was to happen with him on a national show was Arsenio's show, and the station just blacked out. It just blacked out.
And then that was supposed to be the rumor for why they took Arsenio off the air.
Yeah, that was. I remember that.
Nobody could prove it.
My shop was wide open then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because we actually had a show in what we called the Upper Room in Hempstead, and we went down there and Brothers of the Nation, all came down because we were going to watch it. And it was like Arsenio's on every night. What's wrong with the TV tonight?
Right.
Yeah, but that so certain messages people don't want to get out there, and sometimes you end up with the slander part of what mission of Garvey was. Garvey also taught us some things to how to love each other. It's like, if you ain't got $100 to loan, don't loan it. Okay. If you need it back, then you don't need to loan it. Okay.
Yeah. Powerful book, Philosophies and Opinions of Mark.
That's
Garvey.
Right.
Powerful
book.
And
so my great grandma had me reading that and stuff like that. It's like, look, if you ain't got 20 to lose, then don't loan it. Okay, so then y'all peace, everything's good, ain't gonna be hunting nobody down, and just some regular facts on how to be with one another. And that was for us. That was for us. That's how to stay, because you're gonna go in business together, so you're gonna have to know some key things that the books don't tell you about. You're gonna have to know some ways to act and some protocols and some things. Yeah, your brother may be nice, but he ain't no businessman, so don't bring him in. You know, your brother may be the one that you need. Okay, family. I mean, but that was all written out in Garvey's book.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
how to relate with each other, how to build a business. You know, whom you may not need and who you will need. And how do you have those conversations with those persons? That was all Garvey. That was all Garvey.
Fire.
Mhm.
Fire.
Yeah.
We love it, man. We hope y'all love it too. Y'all put it in the chat, see where y'all are at. Y'all let us know how we go. Make sure if y'all ever in the Rochester area, y'all check out these two businesses. We want to highlight Be Healthy Fresh Food Markets, smoothies, wraps, teas, all the groceries, all the things you might need. They have a flagship store on Thurston Ave on Jenny, and then they have another store on Liberty Pole. They will hook you up. How you feeling? Not only getting your nutrients that you need, have you feeling satisfied, have you feeling light, have you feeling good. Go check out Be Healthy. Also, the homegirl Jazzy, go check out Black House Art and Expendables on Monroe Avenue in the town of Monroe and Rochester, New York. Check them out. All right, so we're moving on. Wait, before we do that, let me get to this. The Overcoming book series. This is one of the things I wanted to get you involved with, Sister Aurora, if you got the time. This is Michelle Obama's workbook for overcoming, healing, and getting your life in a better place. And my wife hosts the series every Saturday. She kicked off her inaugural show last Saturday. It went really well. There's a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of people on Facebook, a couple of young people jumped in. We need more of y'all to come and support so we could do that root work, we could do that shadow work and get us better. It's going to be a 10-week book discussion online every Saturday starting at 11 o'clock. So y'all check that out. All right?
Definitely will.
Yeah, definitely check that out. You want to put that back up one more time?
Yes.
And you can watch the replays on the Real HD Show channel on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter. We're all over the place. You can watch the replay of last Saturday's show. Like, subscribe, comment. You know, it's brought to you by the Real HD Show Network. Make sure you guys get involved with that. We're coming out with a lot of different shows. And we got in the bonus, our basketball show coming back out Sunday. And on and on and on and on and on and on. The Real HD Show TV network coming at you. All right. So we're getting back to it. Let's get right into a AAT report. Healthy, wealthy, and wiser for a brand new U.S. So we're in a Real HD Show AAT report. Healthy, wealthy, and wiser for a brand new you. And we are just going to jump right into this because it has to do with our health. And if it wasn't for this particular person, one of the melanated wonders of the world, let me put that up. Because you know we're doing our Melanated Wonders of the World series for Black History Month, right? And she's one of our Melanated Wonders of the World. I'm not going to even say it. Sister Aurora probably already knows who I'm talking about. Let's jump right into it.
1917, Houston, Texas. 1917.
Oop, wrong video. Here's the right one.
Cells changed the world of medicine. In 1951, she went to Johns Hopkins Hospital for treatment. Doctors discovered her cells were unique. They could live outside her body, multiplying endlessly. But here's the shocking part. She never gave consent. Her cells, known as HeLa cells, were taken without her knowledge. For years, her family lived in poverty, unaware of the scientific revolution her cells were fueling. HeLa cells contributed to countless breakthroughs, from the polio vaccine to cancer research. Yet Henrietta's story remained hidden, overshadowed by the achievements her cells brought. This raises critical questions about ethics and race in medicine. Why were Black lives so often overlooked? Henrietta's legacy highlights systemic injustices in healthcare. Her contributions were immense, yet she was denied recognition during her life. Today, Henrietta Lacks is finally receiving the acknowledgement she deserves. Her story is a powerful reminder of the human cost behind scientific progress. It's time to honor her memory and ensure her legacy inspires change in the medical community. Her story is not just about cells, it's about humanity, dignity, and justice.
Right, there we go.
Yeah.
Henrietta Lacks.
Yes.
And all that wonderful melanin in themselves,
Mhm.
keeping the world afloat. And not only did they contribute to helping solve worldwide diseases, but they also used some of the cells to work out the initially to work out COVID strains that they developed to
Mhm.
give people. You guys' thoughts on the indelible contribution of Sister Henrietta Lacks, whose family just got their compensation.
Yes. Yes. And after several books and movies now that came out from her after her family had started to receive some contribution, because they're not letting everybody know everything that they use this woman's cells to heal. She had what they call the humanity cells, the HeLa, and so when you hear HeLa, that's from Henrietta Lacks. You hear about the HeLa cells.
Hey, look, guess what, man?
I agree. Hey, the both of you has pretty much said it, man.
Now I want to
just
tell you a
deep,
story.
dude.
I said, guess what? My wife works at a wellness company, right? She used to work at Blue Cross Blue Shield, right? She works at MVP now, but she used to work at Blue Cross Blue Shield in charge of wellness, right? And she's doing wellness at MVP. And when she had to give a demonstration, nobody in that health insurance medical division heard of Henrietta Lacks before.
Wow.
So we're in 2024.
And that's because it's buried.
We're in 2024, and she's just introduced some folks to Henrietta Lacks. Isn't that something?
And they be calling for the cells all the time. HeLa,
Right.
and they don't know where it stemmed from.
Right.
Right.
Ain't that something?
Crazy.
Don't know where them stem cells stem from.
Right. Right.
They don't know. But they know they haven't recognized it.
That's around. We might hear that one of them just wind up in one of these sentient robots that they're building.
Mm-hmm.
What would y'all think of that?
It wouldn't surprise me.
That's a conjecture right there. That's not fact, y'all. That's not fact. I'm just saying it may. I wouldn't be shocked.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, man. All right, so let's jump into this right quick. Big up to Sister Henrietta Lacks, and pass me one or two of themselves so I could live on forever. Yeah, man. Here we go. One more time. AAT report. Here we go.
As an insecticide, so it's in the diet as well too. You can't just wash these things off, okay? As I mentioned before, toxic cosmetics and hygienic products, anything you put on your skin goes within. That's the best sort of like moniker I have for people. Anything you put on your skin goes within, healthy or unhealthy. All right. And so a lot of the things that are being put on the skin that are put in cosmetic and hygiene products, many of them will have these endocrine disruptors in them. Okay.
There we go. So that was Dr. Bobby Price, and he's talking about lotions and hydrators and makeup products that have nitrates, sulfur, and all kind of toxic ingredients, and it clogs up the endocrine system. And then we wonder why we have certain maladies and abnormalities that happen within our health scheme. Please make sure as you use your products, you are vetting them and checking them.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want any more people coming down with testicular cancer, and we don't want any more sisters coming down with breast cancer. You got to start on Dr. Bobby Price and what he had to say.
What he says is real, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We can't use everything, and you know, I always trying to tell young girls, just because it's on that shelf, don't mean that you could use it. Could trust and believe there's something in there that's not going to go good with your melanin, you know, and your cells. There's, you know, we always find that there are products that are for Black people. And you really have to start reading. You can't just use a lot of that commercial stuff that they be showing.
No, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you know, when it comes to stuff like makeup and things like that, that's just how can I put it? It's something that I've learned that no matter how much I've tried to advocate with that with the women in my family tree and women in my life and stuff like that. You know, like that's just something that in my experience, how could I say, with my loved ones, that's something I can't shake them away from. Right?
That's a hard fight, brother. That's a hard
I just come to the conclusion.
It's like you choose your battle.
Yeah, you gotta choose battle.
Yeah, I've attempted, but you know, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
You're speaking truth on that one. That's hard stuff sledding right there. But
it ain't that deep,
all
right?
you do is give them the information.
That's it. It ain't that deep. So you know, I could say, oh yeah, look at Alicia Keys. She's not wearing makeup. I could do that all day, but you know. I love them anyway.
Yeah, you got to, man. You got to. All right, well, we're moving on.
And then too, hey Vic, like, because I know you're deep into the comedic sciences, but I mean, makeup was around since back then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Invented to, I guess, to patent after a woman's lunar cycle. Sister Aurora can, you know, enlighten me if I'm on the wrong path.
No, you're on the right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then lipstick was done to, you know, indicate fertility, and that's why it's red and all of that type of stuff. I don't want to get too deep into it. That was another Real HD show back in a couple years ago. Go watch that. Give it a like. Give it a subscribe. Tell us what you thought of it. We did a whole thing on that. Shout out to Sincere, my homeboy from Morehouse, excuse me. My Morehouse scientist, Sincere, he broke all of that down for us on our episode of AET Report a couple years back. So go check that out. It was real dope. Had a lot of great participation. Sisters joined in. It was a spirited conversation, to say the least. All right, man. So we moving on with that one, man. We want to get to the Lit City Report, right? Because there's two things I want to get you beautiful people's opinion on. I'm glad I got Brother Luck on here because this is something right up his alley. We talk about Damo in our Lit City Report. That's right. So we're talking about Damo in our Lit City Report, and we have none other than Michael Jai White to talk about a melanated brother, one of the melanated wonders of the world, and I can't wait to get Luck's opinion on this since he is a pugilist himself. Let's check this out.
Like me, who came to China and brought Buddhism. He's the father of Buddhism. He brought Buddhism to China, and he brought martial arts, brought Kung Fu.
All right, so that was it. So
okay, now who's the name that he said?
Yeah, because I missed it.
He is a melanated brother out of India, and he brought the art of martial arts and pugilism to China, one of the melanated wonders of the world. And I wondered if Brother Luck had heard of Damo. Some people attribute him to being from the continent, and some people attribute him to being Brahmin from India. Yeah, everybody know about Dahlia and the Brahmin and their ancient wars and the Untouchables, and those are all melanated people right there. But according to a lot of martial arts experts, Bruce Lee even spoke to this himself, if that a lot lends to more credit, that Damo was responsible for teaching the Shaolin Kung Fu. The beginning of Shaolin Kung Fu came from Damo. This is a picture of Damo in one of the Kunyu temples in Shaolin, China.
Good work. Good work.
Yeah, man. And he is one of the, like I said earlier, one of the melanated wonders of the world. As we continue on and celebrating our melanated wonders of the world series. You guys' thoughts on Damo and his contribution to the world, actually? Because if he didn't do that, then you don't have Ip Man, and without Ip, you don't have Bruce Lee and Wing Chun, and you don't have brothers like Luck, who's real nice with them hands, knowing how to do what he does so well. What's up, bro? Talking.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, a lot of thoughts roll through my mind because I have heard now Damo. My younger brother might be more, how could I say, my younger brother is deeper in the martial art history than I am. I could admit that, right? I was more like the guy that just wanted to do it. You know what I mean? Yes. And then when I got into doing it, then some research came behind the doing part. You know what I'm saying? Where some people study it, then get into doing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the thing is this, though. I will honestly say, no, I didn't come across Damo, but I subscribed to it right away because I never knew the name of the person that brought the art over. But I always heard that it was definitely a melanated brother or melanated conglomerate of people that brought Buddhism over from pre-India into pre-China. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I say it like that because to add on to the greatness of our people, right, of our phenotype, is the fact that the oldest dynasty in China was the Shi dynasty. And those Shi people migrated from pre-South America over to pre-China. And that's a fact. The Xi people, some people like to call them because they can't pronounce it when they look at it. But the thing is, and some of those, and it's arguable point, but they might even be what they call the Olmec. It's arguable, right? But it's been a conversation. But what I'll also say is back to Damo. Yeah, absolutely, because I heard that, Buddhism was brought over from India, and it was a deeply melanated brother or group of people that brought it over. You know what I mean? So no, I don't have a problem with it, and I love the fact that Michael Jai White got up on what is considered mainstream for us on YouTube, and say that, right? The new mainstream is like Vlad TV and all these other programs on there. Well, our program should be considered as such now that we have links that they could get to as well. But the thing is that why it's great that Michael Jai White said it is because I've seen with my own eyes. Michael Jai White is so revered and so respected by even the old school martial artists like Superfoot. Superfoot, Wallace respects Michael Jai White.
Right.
Michael Jai White was like a young little teenager or even younger than that, running around their dojos. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they have like a bit of a kinship or uncleship to him. If I'm not stretching too shallow or stretching too deep, but I saw the love that they gave him when I went to the martial arts event down in Atlantic City, and I seen them give him many awards, bro. And one night, many awards. You know what I mean? And you could just feel the love in the room for Michael Jai White from all of these legendary old school martial artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for him to say that, that's huge. That's huge. That's big.
One of the Sister Aurora, your thoughts on Damo, melanated brother from, some people say the continent, some people say India, more people say pre-India, and his contribution to martial arts. And it would be no funny looking shoes with the toes pointing up in them, and the robes and everything that went in the 70s and the late 80s. There'd be none of that stuff if it wasn't for Brother Damo and his melanated wonder of the world.
So I have to thank him for my Saturday movie going at Roosevelt Theater, watching the Bruce Lee flicks.
Absolutely.
I'll have to thank him for that. And,
Absolutely.
I mean, that's where mine extends to.
Right.
Absolutely.
Hey, staying in the world of pugilism, right? And melanated wonders of the world. If you go to Mexico and you go down to the Riviera and you get one of them rides and you go to the pyramid or the temple of Chichen Itza, this is what you will see, called the Temple of the Warriors. And you will see a mural of brothers and brothers from Mexico who were Mayans of the time. They are celebrating and adorning one another for a fabulous victory over the Druids and Celtics.
And look at the weapons.
And this is Mayan time period. And you guys can look at a book called Dawn Voyage by Michael Bradley. That's a really dope book too that lays all of that out. But I thought it'd be cool to talk about, while we're talking about pugilism, we're talking about the Temple of Chichen Itza and the fact that brothers from the continent or even higher in the North American plains worked with brothers down in Mexico to help solve each other's problems with them hands against some foreign adversaries. I just thought that was a really powerful picture for and one of our melanated wonders of the world. Y'all thoughts real quick on that, and then we could jump into all of what we're here for with the show.
Ladies first.
I have nothing.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Speak because it speaks volumes on its own.
This now that I'm learning, and I was just writing down the book that you just finished saying. And I'm like,
okay. Let me put that on the screen real quick. Maybe that could be the book of the night. Dawn Voyage, Michael Bradley. I'll share my screen and we can get to it. This is a book I read when I was working at Patrick Payne's bookstore.
And Patrick Payne.
Yeah, man. That's a blast from the past.
Absolutely. The amount of work I did for that guy. I did a lot of work for him.
Dope brother. Let me share my screen so you guys can see this book. And yeah, man. That was
bestsellers books.
Bestsellers books, yep. That was the summer of my senior year in college. On Voyage. So they have a lot of covers of it. Been out for quite a while. And I actually did my senior thesis on this here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the department loved it. Didn't really expect it, but couldn't refute it. Michael Bradley was a white dude, but he wrote many books that are really, really good. Also in his collection, he got about maybe 10 of them. Real dope. Check them out if you can. Dawn Voyage is a great book that shows the transcontinental voyages of folks, similar to what Brother Luck was talking about, where they took several voyages across the Atlantic to mix and be mobile and be fruitful with one another and develop one another's societies and civilization. So go check that out if you can. Dawn Voyage, Michael Bradley. Let's get into this. Hip Hop with a Message rides again. And I'm so glad that Brother Luck and Sister Aurora had a chance to come on, because Monday we talked about all of the craziness that went on after Kendrick performed, the crash out of it all. and then I thought of a different way of approaching the spectacle of it all, which is hip hop with a message, and how powerful that is. And how whenever one of our folks decide to put pen and instrument to harmony and create a really dope song with a really dope message, it takes over the planet. Would that y'all agree with that?
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
You know what I call it? I call it the Bob Marley. I call it the Bob Marley moment. I say, you know what? As an artist, I would love to have a Bob Marley moment. And sometimes I'll look at other artists and say, well, that artist had a Bob Marley moment, or this one did, or this would have. Because not every artist has a Bob Marley moment. And I say Bob Marley only because in my mind, for me, Bob was the epitome of like changing the actual vibration of a person with his music, no matter what ethnic background they have or so-called ethnic background they have. Bob Marley was that dude that would just touch somebody's soul and spirit. So I might just say, yo, Rakim had a Bob Marley moment somewhere between Move the Crowd and Lyrics Fury, you know what I'm saying? Or Ghetto, you know, he had moments, Bob Marley moments where he just touched your soul.
So that brings me to my question for both of you. Can y'all tell me a hip hop song that with a message that transcended for either the 70s, 80s, 90s, or beyond?
Mine would be Fear of the Black Planet album. I think mine would be in Fear of the Black Planet. Public Enemy.
Dope. PE, not
yes.
That's nice.
You know, that would be mine.
Nice. That album was fire.
That album was fired. The messages was fired. I remember Here Comes the Dawn. We did a tribute to them in our window, and you know, we found that we became targets because of that. You know, but the brothers showed up. You know, Griff used to be in my shop all the time, sitting there reading his books and you know, making sure everything was copacetic. And so then a lot of the other hip hop artists like Rakim, he was coming to my shop just to sit and read.
Whoa,
you know,
that's dope. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I was still in Queens back then. I didn't come to Hempstead as yet. Wow, that's dope.
Yeah, wow. Chris Martin, he came by from Kid and Play. He was Play. He had designs in my shop that were leather.
Wow. Yeah, I came in 90. So 90s when I met you. So yeah, that was just 2 years before me moving to Hempstead. Wow. Dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
So all of these artists all of these artists that are on the flyer for the show tonight, or who I call masters of creating a hip hop song with a message. So you got PE, KRS-One, Rakim, De La, Wu-Tang, Tribe Called Quest, Black Star, Common, Nas, Fugees, Brand Nubian, Outkast, Diggable Planets, Ed Perez, NWA, X-Clan, and Poor Righteous Teachers. Can anybody listening within the sound of my voice at home or on the panel tell me one of the more memorable songs from one of these artists? We already talked about Ra. Ra got so many. Anybody else y'all want to mention amongst this pantheon of excellence?
I mean, you pretty much got all of them there. So I want to see who from home have their artists. You know what I mean? I mean, honestly, hey, look, all those folks got records where my coin phrase, the Bob Marley moment. All those artists there had a Bob Marley moment.
Well, look, I see you got like in writing there, A Tribe Called Quest. Now, A Tribe Called Quest hit not only just the Black communities, but when Phife Dawg died, and you see of course, the president and the first lady, and then all of these news outlets, black and white, saying, you know, lines from his song and everything. And I mean, on the day that he died, it was just amazing to see, especially on the white news outlets, the white news, you know, they're sitting up there doing the song and raising the beats. Tribe Called Quest was hot. I mean, they definitely had a message. It definitely tells a story about Queens. If you're around it, you kind of sat there and said, "Yeah, I lived that." Fife Dog was rest in peace with Fife Dog, and then we the people and.
Yeah, one of the doper.
Yes, you can. Can I?
Legendary.
I would say that X-Clan, for me, X-Clan had a Bob Marley moment. Yes, for their first 2 albums. They had it. They had the music behind them.
Which one for you? Which one for you stood out?
I could go with it. I got like 2 from them right off the top of my head. Heed the Words of a Brother and To the East Blackwoods.
Okay.
Those are my those records right there. To Heed the Words of a Brother. Love that record, man. Love that record, bro.
And they were the ones to actually bring a lot of the Parliament samples to hip hop first. Wasn't Dre?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right about that. You're right. It was X-Clan and EPMD that brought the funk, in my opinion. They brought the funk back. Let's just say it like that. They brought it back. You know what I mean?
Well, sampling
they
and using those sounds and those that frequency and those tones within their songs. You know what I mean?
Big facts.
Absolutely.
You know,
even the performance brought alive. People like Gil Scott Heron. We kept, because everyone uses the revolution won't be televised, but he brought it to, if he brought it to the global face, because this is the brother who won a Pulitzer. Okay, that album, damn, that was a Pulitzer. Somebody in Nova Scotia was sitting there checking out the lyrics and said, "Well, hey, it's a global note, And for him to have won a Pulitzer, that just shows he was out there with a message. If people weren't afraid of Rakim way back when, that would be Rakim, I would think. Rakim is the god of just bringing messages and selling.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And because I know that brother used to sit there in my shop and read, and then had this flow of consciousness, and we would hear it from the back, and he was brilliant. I still think underrated, but Rakim is brilliant.
Yeah, I lived around the corner from his first cousin.
Oh, okay.
He had 3 first cousins that lived around our block and whatnot, and one of them looked just like him, almost a spitting image. Lamar was like the spitting image of him, and when Lamar rhymed, if you close your eyes, you would have thought it was Ra. That voice is something that runs in the family.
Okay. Dope.
And one more shout out to somebody who almost hit a Bob Marley moment for me with a record in your lineup is RZA. A record called "A Day to God Is 1,000 Years."
Yes.
But RZA's a genius.
Now which one was that? Was that on Bobby Digital?
No, that was actually on Birth of a Prince.
Okay.
I had him sign that album for me too. I had him sign that album for me. Yeah, he signed that album for me because I went in the city to get it signed by him.
Was that the album that he put out the same time as Nas? When Nas put out the N album?
You know what? Let me see. 2003, the N album came out. I'd have to research to see when the N album came out. Okay, and the N album. I'm sorry, dude. I'm gonna go. You know, I'm a hip hop head, but the N album for me is one of Nas's top 3 albums, in my personal opinion, of my favorite Nas albums, because he got so many. Now you could stack Nas's albums up. You don't have to stack it next to other people's own. You could just stack them up against each other, right? And rank them. But I'm gonna tell you something. The N album is one of my favorite albums, and you know how much I hate the N word, but I love what that man was doing with that project. I love what he was doing. Beautiful album, and he had a few Bob Marley moments on that album, in my opinion. Definitely.
Super creative. That's why I put him in the pantheon of brothers who know, and artists who know how to do hip hop with message. I should have put Salt and Pepper on here. I didn't think about it until later on tonight. I was like, Salt and Pepper, Dog on it. They had a bunch of records that had messages within them that
Mm-hmm.
really just went wild. Like they were so popular. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Express
Women empowerment
yourself.
more so, right?
Express yourself. Everybody get up. Let's talk about sex. Oh man, so many. If I get my wife in here, she'll take over the show and just run off all the stuff. Her favorite. They people. But lastly, when we're gonna get out of here because we can name songs all day. I love the collaboration on here. So many of those artists collaborate. But I love when the Muhammad Ali movie came out with Will Smith and the Fugees, Tribe Called Quest, and who else was it? Busta Rhymes. And
they had a nice soundtrack for that one.
They all combined on one record, and that record was phenomenal. And it was all to honor Ali's fight. And it was phenomenal. So we want to talk about what Brother Kendrick did because, of course, he had the largest audience you could get for a hip-hop song with a message. So y'all thoughts, I don't know if y'all seen it or heard it or watched the replays or what have you. It's all over the place. It's super polarizing. It's the reason why we're doing the show tonight. And I have some questions about the power of a hip-hop song with a message. He had Brother Sam Jackson.
That was phenomenal.
Revising a futuristic, Afro-futuristic Steven from Django, right? And then K-Dot had the creative video game set within the Super Bowl. And then at the end of his performance, after he shut it down, it was game over. So you guys, first of all, you guys' thoughts on K-Dot's performance in the Super Bowl? They say it was one of the most watched Super Bowls. I don't know if it's number one. They said it was one of the most watched. And the
halftime.
Halftime show. What do you guys think about K-Dot's performance? And we can get into hip-hop, the messaging of hip-hop song.
The messaging, first of all, with his show, if I wasn't watching with some young people, I wouldn't have recognized it was the game set. So because so I thought that was very clever. But every generation that I was watching it with, we all saw something that hit us, but when like my son and someone else was there, they were telling us it's the game. Look at the pieces, and because I don't video game or whatever it's PS5 is whatever it is, but once they started to show it, then it made more sense and more meaning for me, because that's what they first spotted. And so you have them, but I'm hearing the message coming through because Samuel Jackson done laid it out, and that just if it stopped there, it would have been okay for me. Okay, because I was like, wow, I said, did y'all just hear what this man just said? This is a nationally watched thing, okay? And who else but who could bring that to life, and set that stage. And so even with Kendrick not going to do what Uncle Sam says to do, we knew that was the move, and just watching them. And then when my son got me looking at how they were moving, he was actually moving his hands like the game moves. And because I don't game, I would not have recognized that was a key factor in bringing it full circle for all those generations that were watching. So that kind of was really unique, to see that. And of course, because one of the things a lot of people have to remember is these people didn't get paid for that halftime show.
Right.
So if you're not getting paid for it, I would bring a message, bring it all, just like, and just like, when we didn't all scream and shout because we saw Serena. We screamed and shout because at no time in their whole career has Serena and Venus let you forget where they're from. They never let you forget where they're from, no matter what. And like she said, she did the full walk on at one of her games, she would have been fined because, they wanted to find her when she did a little crip walk at Wimbledon that time. But that right there was, look at that right there. And just the uniqueness of having a flag,
Right.
I mean,
It's
so
crazy.
every movement, I mean, it was all message. Every time they moved, it was a message. Every time they made a new, lineup, it was a message. So that I thought it was really well done. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, I would say everything you said is dead. Is not dead on. It's living on point, right? I mean, the whole thing with the flag and the configuration of the flag and the disconfiguration of the flag. The fact that he's standing there in the picture like that, showing that, I'm just gonna play into what I'm seeing, the minority within America standing strong, firm, and also too, when the flag disconfigured, now we had blue and red, right? So people are thinking, Democrats, Republicans, but it's also blood and Crips. And because of the fact that the pop-out concert took place, he's showing you that there's unity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At one point he's rocking out with the blue, and the next point he's dancing with the red. You know what I'm saying? So and then they dancing together back and forth and back. So he's showing you that you know what? When you come through LA, just know that we unified down there. We have our issues, but generally speaking, we are unified. You know what I mean? It's not about different colors why we have issues right now. That's what I was getting out of it. You know what I mean? And it's just deep. I mean, we could go on and on. There's so many different double entendres going on in there. Sammy Jackson,
the Democrat, the everything. And as many years as they had not allowed, as Black dancers had not been allowed, just because he decides, no, all my dancers are going to be Black or of color. And that's he didn't let no white dancers in here. No, as many years as we have gone on and seen this, does everyone sit there and, there's no Black dancers here? Never, but his choice is his choice. And he had but the biracial folks, okay, he had everyone.
Yeah, you see, like also too, what they got to realize is this, right? Now, this was Jigga Man's production. This is the last one I heard. But the thing is this. Okay, people can say what they want to say about Jay-Z. They really could. There's a bunch of things they could say, all right? But I remember the hip-hop things. I remember Jay-Z saying, yeah, in my era, I was looking for the Ice Cube of my era. Meaning, like, who's the rapper that's the Ice Cube of my era? There's no more Ice Cube type of rappers, right? Meaning the political street dude. So in this era right now, prominent, in prominent level, Kendrick is the Ice Cube street rapper, street political dude that he was looking for. So he's gonna give him his creative control because this is his last one that he's doing, from what I heard, unless they renew his contract. I don't know where that's going. But if this is his last one, he's going out with a bang. This is the biggest bang ever. Like, they're gonna talk about this one for God knows how long.
A long time.
Right?
And I thought that they were talking about when he did that whole compilation of hip hop when Jay-Z first took over, and you had all the hip hop artists and stuff. This topped all of that, but it does. You're right. If this is his last one, he went out with stars and stripes and the moon and the sun. He went out.
Samuel Jackson with that wickedly great smile, with that role he was playing, right?
That was amazing. I was just like, I said, this is amazing. I was like, yeah, I know what y'all saying here.
Exactly. And the great thing with Sammy Jackson, Sammy was catching the 85ers. And I'm not saying it as a bad thing. Look, my lady would be an 85er to some of the knowledge that they were trying to drop that night. You know what I'm saying? Because we was watching it together, but she understood Sammy. She didn't understand Kendrick, because Kendrick got that LA twang, number one. And number two, the acoustics wasn't really that good when you was watching it live. The acoustics is better when people are playing it over. You could actually hear Kendrick's lyrics. Whereas when I was watching it that night, I couldn't really catch his lyrics. And I didn't really catch the overall message at first because I was too busy dancing. I'll be straight up with you. I was dancing. What I did, I was dancing. I was like, yeah, this my guy. I gotta, we'll catch all the sciences later. I'm jumping around. This my guy right here. I already got his album. I already heard the message. You know what I mean? But it was phenomenal. It was like a jigsaw puzzle. You know,
It was.
you know what it's like. That
Everybody saw
show,
something in it for them. Yeah,
hell yeah,
something
that show was
positive.
like. You know what that show was like? That show was like back in the '90s and '80s, right? When Public Enemy dropped an album, when Rakim, Karis One, I don't know, Tragedy, Shan, Kane, whenever these people drop an album, you run into the store because you want to put your hands on the album cover. You want to put your hands on that tape. That performance that night was one you want to collect. Thank God for YouTube. Thank God for YouTube.
Yep.
And this,
So
I mean, I've watched it 3 and 4 times since.
Let me ask y'all a question about the performance, right? Now that y'all bring that up, right? As an MC, Luck is an MC, and Sister Aurora, are you an MC, Sister Aurora? I don't know. Let me ask.
Not per se. I wouldn't say I was.
Okay, but I'm sure you've been in a cipher or two.
Yes.
Let's go. Right. So
hey, she had Rakim in a bookstore. Let's be real. She had
That's
Rakim in a bookstore,
right.
Let's check it out. So without a band, right, and without a big like production thing going on. I mean, it was a production thing, but it wasn't like how a typical R&B artist would have it, or your typical like Super Bowl set, right? He had to do all those songs for Dolo. That is incredibly hard.
That's credible. That's incredible. That's incredible. That's crazy.
Yep.
That's great.
When I saw him run song after song after song after song, I was like, he ain't slowing down. Like, wow. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
yeah.
Whoa. Like, can anybody talk to how hard that actually is for artists, and how much, you know, you don't really get a break in between that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can speak to it.
Now go ahead, bro.
Listen, I was even saying to my lady, I said, you know what? That man didn't drop not one lyric. He didn't forget not one rhyme. Okay?
Tough.
The man runs across a football field. Length performance. Kept his breath control. It shows that he's actually an athlete. He's in shape.
Remember, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't do any of that.
I seen him doing pull-ups in Harlem over the summer while he was destroying Drake from Cali. Somehow the man was in Harlem doing pull-ups on a scaffold with some brothers from around the way over there. He's in shape. You know what I mean?
Right.
So number one, he's in shape, he's fit. Number two, he's got to memorize all this material. Number three is the different terrain. This ain't a small stage like what he operates. This is a whole football field of dancers. And he has to be in certain parts of it. Like when he was doing what's the name of that record? He did a record where he was in the X. What's the name of that record? Oh man, I'm going blank on some of the titles of this man's album.
He was in the X.
He was in the X and he was doing this one record, and I know the record. Not Squabble.
Be Humble?
It wasn't. Not Be Humble.
No,
not that one.
Turn off the TV.
Peekaboo.
It was one of his new records.
Right. So he did Peekaboo, and he had to be in the X formation to do Peekaboo. So when they do the filming from up top, they could see him in the X performing Peekaboo because of the symbolism, because of the rapper named Extension, right? With all of the like you had I was watching something on TV the other day and it showed that court case where the dude got up on the stand and said, oh yeah, Drake has something to do with it. So he did that, and he did it in the X for Extension, and he didn't drop a lyric, and he had to make it over there. He had to run over there.
Right.
Come on, and man. Come on.
Right. He reminded me of what's the dude the old singer, Frankie Lyman. Reminded me of Frankie Lyman, because whenever you see Frankie Lyman sing, if I'm taking y'all back, I'm not that old, but I watch all the old footage. Right.
I saw the movie.
Yeah, for sure. You watch. I'm an old head. I'm an old soul, so I watch all that stuff. Right. You watch some stuff of Frankie Lyman and how big he was, and how the women were swooning after him.
Right.
Old boy would be drenched from head to toe.
Yes.
But he was an energizer bunny. He would just keep moving and moving and moving and moving. And you got your money's worth. If you spent whatever couple dollars you had on a Lyman concert, you got
Right.
your money's worth.
They
And
say he
Yep.
runs 4 miles every morning, and with that clean living, I
right,
guess people gotta
Hmm.
remember he ain't 18. Okay,
No.
he's
right,
not, and he was moving
Right.
better than half of those rappers could move. And those
Yes.
younger rappers, he's 37 years old. Okay,
Yeah.
and he already tells you, I don't smoke, I don't
Not,
drink.
and I've been in a
You
situation where, I got on stage and I'm going good with my verse, and the next thing I forgot a line.
know.
And I had to freestyle off the head to make up for it. I
Hell, you
mean,
got
we
to
gotta
pretend
give
to
him
lean.
gotta give him his credit. Yeah, you gotta give
You
him
got
his
to
credit.
lean on something like,
Yeah, gotta make it up on the spot. You know what I mean? And I kind of became known for it, which is not cool because, that means I was forgetting my line a lot, which is not cool. But just being honest, that man got up there and performed all those songs flawlessly. And then too, he had to use a lot of skill and tact because he started um, getting rid of the cuss words or words that they didn't want him
right.
to mention.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
And he
So
and it
you
looked
just
like, and it
you
almost
got
looked like he
your
wrote
edit.
it like that. He got
Right, you
right. He
got
did an edit on the
your
spot.
performance edit.
Yes, and he did all that on the spot. So I gotta say, this man he had his Bob Marley moment there, right there, Vic. That was his Bob Marley moment, right? He had a few records as Bob Marley moment. They're Not Like Us is a Bob Marley moment because he attacked the issues in there. You know, it's just say, look, that kid, this is his time. This is his time. This is his prime. Everybody knows it. You can't
So
escape
I
it.
want to so I want to remind a couple people about some of the things and some of the messaging that Kendrick might have had in his performance. I showed it last show. I'll show it again. I'll
Hmm.
enlarge the screen real quick. Sam Jackson playing
Yeah, I
Uncle
saw that show
Sam,
too. Yeah. Hmm.
aka like he played in Django. Sam Jackson warning Kendrick to play the game white America wants you to play and not be
Yeah.
ghetto, right? So that was kind of like the setup, right? And then Kendrick gets started like, oh, they invited the wrong one, right? So then he had some symbolism from the Squid Games with the way that the dancers were dressed. So I don't know if anybody looks at the Squid Games on Netflix, really good show. Talks about what people will do for money and the scavenge and the scavenger nature that how people will deal with each other and treat each other and what they will let society do to them in order to get the bag, right? So that was really dope. Number four, the dancers wore red, white, and blue, representing the American flag. And there's the whole Jacob and Boaz thing, symbolism. We can get into that if anybody want to go down that road. You know, um, the stage also being a prison yard where his black performers harmonized while he rapped. So I guess they're talking about when he was at the street pole and all the dancers were around him. They had on the white t-shirts. That more seemed like a little depiction of Kendrick being off the block and how no matter what hood you go into, that's kind of like a celebrated way that brothers kind of join in brotherhood and fellowship with one another. And then number six, protecting black women like Serena Williams after being disrespected by Drake. And then once
Correct.
again, reminding Drake and America that they are not like us. So do y'all think that the Kendrick, even though UMG didn't want Kendrick to do that song in the Super Bowl, he did it anyway? And do you think that was more of a cultural statement for him to do that for us? Or do you think it was more of just a defiance? What do y'all think?
Sister Aurora, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
Oh yeah, you gotta unmute yourself, sis.
I was like, because it was set up with Samuel Jackson, how he set it up, and so we knew by that time he was not going to do it as was expected of him. He was going to do him, and so you got to remember, just take a step back after the Serena. SZA came on with the Black Panther theme song,
Right, that was fire
By that
too.
time, everybody's standing up and raising their fist, and
Right, right,
see, y'all forgot
right.
about that part, but SZA came and and everybody was like, Wakanda forever, and and it kind of pulled everything together because SZA's also from Compton, but it really pulled everything together after you saw Serena, then you saw SZA, and then he went into, well, y'all ain't telling me what I'm doing, and that's why, because he kept on teasing with They Not Like Us before that prison yard scene. Remember, he would give you a little tease about it, and then he went into his other 4 songs before.
And then he said, because y'all know the kid liked to sue people. He said that too. On the mic.
So even throughout, they would the music teased you that it was coming on, like when he was starting certain songs. Because when he went into oh my gosh, now it was before you said, it was after Peekaboo when he was doing like the Luther, and when you heard that was like, you heard that, because everything was generational to me. Everything seemed to, it tapped every generation that even does things in here in people of color's households and things like that. So, but somewhere in between, before all the stars and then Luther, and I mean, it was just like he was just wrapping it up with a bow. So him to do his song that everybody knew that they wanted to hear, because they ain't like us. And then that game, I mean, a lot of people said this went up, but you saw that Game Over. That's how he went out.
Oh yeah.
And so let the revolution begin, kind of thing. Yes. Now right there, I was saying, if y'all missed that, that was like, that wasn't saying, okay, sit down. That was saying, okay,
another double entendre.
Right. And I thought that was powerful, because I thought that he was saying in that moment that I see the game that you all are trying to play here. And the game is over. We see it.
We see
got
it.
You.
And
we
that's
see
when
it.
The music went out.
We want y'all to know that we see it. And it's over from here on out.
Yep.
I loved it. I loved it. Hey, real quick, let's jump to a melanated wonder of the world, and we'll come back to the topic real quick. Let's do that real quick. And y'all love this one. Because everybody can participate. Let everybody participate at home. This is one of the melanated wonders of the world. And I want y'all to give me your honest opinion of this. Brother Luck, Sister Aurora, top shit talkers of all time.
Oh wow, good question.
Oh my baby. Bernie Mac.
I forgot where this came from. This came from some magazine. I think it was some black melanated paper who put this together. So they put I added some to this list, some young people, some old people.
Yeah, McFly, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, DC Young Fly. Yeah.
Young Fly. Right.
Bernie Mac, Martin.
Yes.
Robin Harris.
Look, Robert Harris was it. I did get to see a show of his before he died. Whoopi. If you ever saw Whoopi's One Woman Show, I went with an older aunt and saw it live, and just fell in love with what she was doing.
80s, look, man, 80s Whoopi will hurt your feelings.
Thank you. Thank you.
80s Whoopi was no joke. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened in her journey.
Yes, sir.
But 80s Whoopi never
between like 80 and 85, lethal. She was on the mic. Oh, she was a problem.
Yeah. She make you cry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And Wanda Sykes. I mean, if y'all didn't see her special that played last year, I guess, the year before, it's not only funny, but she's just so truthful.
Yeah, she's very talented, gifted, man.
And now she has a show on Netflix, The Upshaws, and with Michael Epps is stars in it with her and Kim Fields.
Oh, excellent show. Excellent show.
Excellent show.
Excellent family show. Really dope.
Yes.
Funny as hell. That's the problem. Funny, legit funny. You know what I mean?
Yes, legit funny, but
legit funny. I don't know if you checked it out yet.
Nah, I ain't check it out yet.
You have to.
Yeah, watch it with your sweetie, man. Legit
yeah, I'm
funny.
Gonna do that. I'm gonna do that.
It's so funny.
Legit. Mike Epps and Wanda. They doing the Jeffersons. They doing the Jefferson Martin back and forth with the, with the in-laws type of deal. They snap on each other, but it's dope. It's really good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna check it.
Definitely. You learn about,
Raw
having the
talent,
ghetto
though, I
twins.
would say raw talent for me would be a person who I think is truly naturally funny on his own merit, with no like ghost writers. I would have to say Red Fox,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But, and
pure
Red
and cut
Fox was a
raw.
kind of a genius businessman as well.
Yeah,
You
You
know.
know
pure
who
and
else
cut
is
raw.
legit funny off and on script is John Witherspoon.
Oh, bang,
Oh
bang, bang,
boy,
bang. Yes.
bang bang
John
bang bang.
Witherspoon is one of those talents that is organic, and he never got his own shop, meaning his own show or his
Right,
own movie or whatever. But what
right.
he heightened whatever show he was on, he
Remember
took
the
that
Wayne
show
brothers?
to the next level. His energy, his comedic, his timing,
Timing is,
oh man, funny dude, man.
Yeah.
Underrated, funny dude. You know what I mean?
it's good that you have DC Young Fly up there, because a lot of the artists now are embracing him and bringing him into their movies. There was a Christmas movie that he's in, and it was with Eddie Murphy. Brought him into that movie, and so Eddie Murphy's the dad, and who is Kelly Rowland is the mom, and they got kids. If y'all never saw it, it's a Christmas show, but it was on Prime Video. And
Nice.
that was really good. But Eddie Murphy brought DC Young Fly, and he says he thinks that brother is going to be up, and he's such a spiritual brother too, and he'll let you know that even in his funny, so he's good. He's dynamite.
And one of the unsung, I won't say unsung because she got a lot of celebrity and a lot of fame and had a really long career, just recently passed. Marla Gibbs was legit funny. My wife and I have been watching some of the reruns of the old Jeffersons.
Oh, and the classics.
Yo, she was wild funny. Like her timing and her sass, it was just, bro. Chef's kiss, man.
Absolutely.
But you said that she passed.
She had magic together, man. Magic.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. I said you were saying that she passed. I didn't know that she passed.
I think she did. Yeah, she passed.
She did?
Let me just see.
No, she just she could have passed, but she just did she's the grandmother. Oh my God, there's another show on Netflix that I watch, and with these girls and they own a hair thing. I gotta remember. She's the mother. She's the grandmother rather. Oh my gosh. So I don't think she passed.
Okay, maybe she didn't.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm looking at this thing online.
She's on Young Sheldon. That's the
I thought I remember seeing something, but she's 93. She's 93 right now. So
yeah, she's really older.
I thought I remembered her. Let me see, because according to this, she didn't. According to this,
no, I don't think she did, because this show just came out.
I'm looking right now. Hold on, I'm trying to see. No,
the show just came out. She's on Young Sheldon. Well, she always makes an appearance on there.
Okay.
On Netflix. On Netflix, she's on as well. Yeah, I don't think she did, but because she's on these two new shows, and she plays the grandmother. One of them are House of Vicious. She's on that. That's on BET with
she's
Tammy
on House
Roman.
of Vicious. My daughter.
You like that show? I love that.
Show. My daughter keeps telling me to watch that show. I don't know.
You have
I can't
to
really
watch
get into
that
it.
show, and Tammy Roman is a genius.
Really?
Because she is a genius. You have to watch that.
Two of the people that I wanted to highlight are the two people on the bottom that has some really creative. They got it out of mud creatively. They had to make their own way. That's Dolomite. Rudy Ray Moore and Robin Harris. And Rudy Ray Moore used to work the Chitlin circuit, making records and comedy records and all types of artistic records and all types of different things throughout the 70s. And then Robin Harris was just a comedy force for as long as he lived.
Ain't nobody gonna forget Baby Kids.
No, Robin Harris was just funny as hell. And You know, all these people here got to vote on I forget the website, but it's one particular website as the super ish talkers of all time. All right, man. And that's one of the melanated wonders of the world, because you know, can't nobody do it like how we do it. I mean,
That's right.
all right. So let's get back to it. So let me ask you a question about the whole Kendrick piece, right? We have a long-standing tradition, right, amongst our folks of making these records look where we have a message within the hip hop, and it balloons and it goes viral, like they say now. And where do you think Kendrick's music stands in the pantheon of the really, really dope ways that we can create hip hop with a message? Does it deserve to be in there? Does it not deserve to be in there? Or does he need to work towards that? And he has
No,
potential
I
and
think it
talent?
deserves to be in there.
And which record do y'all think deserves to be in that pantheon?
In 2024, he made They Not Like Us an anthem. Okay. It became, and it wasn't just Kamala, it became an anthem. Okay, where everybody, before she put it out there, and then after she put it out there, of course, it blew up because it was used on every stage that she graced, you know. But even for, you know, I was watching one of these silly shows, and you know, all white players, and they're using it, you know. It became a national movement to let people know, no, they ain't like us, okay? And I think that song, you know, if you think back to what other song has ever done that, you know, or what songs you feel done that, that one has definitely been that song and still remains that song. Because not only are people of color using it, but even on a lot of these shows I see, I'm like, oh, they just biting, you know. But that became
What you think, Luck? Does he still have more work to do? Is he in that frame? What do you think?
I think he's in that frame, and I think that he's going to choose to do more work.
Okay,
that's nice put it. Yes, he will choose because he don't have to, but he's
Sure
going to
don't.
choose to. He's
But he
going
does
to.
he have a self-destruction type of song in his catalog?
Self-destruction type?
Yeah, because it was like a hip hop record with a message, and it just took
Remember the Black of the Berry? People used to think, but that's kind of
Black of the Berry is one of my favorite songs by him.
That's one of my favorite. That's what I was going to say.
Oh
Black
my
of the
gosh,
Berry,
him and Layla,
that's one of my
and Layla Hathaway. Woo!
Oh yes,
Fire.
you know. So
Fire.
I think that was one of my favorite songs. And like I was listening to the radio this morning. It was like Monday, and Charlamagne was like, you know, what if he had opened up with Black of the Berry? They would have lost their mind.
And he really didn't do any Pimp a Butterfly type of songs.
No,
I was waiting for him to do All Right, and he never did.
Yep.
That's the thing. He had a concept that night. He had a mission. He was on.
He had a mission.
You know what it is? He was on Game Overtime. You know what I'm saying? He's like, look, I'm going to end the game tonight on so many different levels.
Right.
You know, while this guy is performing down in Europe, you know what I'm saying? I seen this guy's performance, a little piece of it down in Europe, Drake performing that same night. But it's like, while you're performing in Europe, this guy is canceling the game on you, bro. You're getting canceled right now, you know, on a national level. Like, honestly, Drake has no real estate in the United States anymore because of Kendrick. And also, too, the reason he's in that pantheon is because of the fact that the song They Not Like Us, it's not just about Drake, it's about pedophilia. Whether you believe Drake, whether you believe the narrative that Drake is a pedophile or whatever, you know, that's whatever. You know what I mean? The message is still there about pedophilia. It's probably struck a chord. It's probably a minor, like, yo.
Right. And that's why everybody was thinking that
what did y'all think about the entire stadium saying that when he said it?
Yo.
When he was saying the minor.
I was watching that with my son, and I was like, did you hear them all say that at the same time? I was like, wow.
Listen,
I was like, no, they didn't.
You You know what that's like? I'll tell you what that is like. And you know what? The both of you could relate to this by way of seeing it happen to someone, or maybe even being that person having a fight against extreme odds, right? But like that's like, okay, let me tell you exactly what that's like right there. That's like school is over, 3 p.m. You had a problem with someone earlier that day, and they told you they're gonna see you after school, right?
Mhm.
And then when you outside and you see it's not just that person, but half the schoolyard is trying to see you, and they're gonna bum rush you. That is what Drake must feel like. He got bum rushed because you're getting hit by people who you know and people who you don't know at that point. They're just hitting
Mhm.
because they want to be part of hitting you without even having a problem with you. So the people in that football stadium screaming A minor, like real talk, that's like getting jumped, getting bum rushed, to be specific, after school.
Now
Bum
that's a
rush.
game over. When you got the whole
That's game over.
Serious.
Bowl Stadium
Serious game.
saying it.
Word.
And did you see that night when they showed they showed Drake coming from where he at? He had on a bullet ridden hoodie, and a target. And he's like, "Yeah, I was shot." I said, "Yeah,
Yes.
man,
Oh
you."
man.
And
I saw
it
that.
had like smoke. It had like smoke coming out of it. He's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
Oh,
I was smoked. I was shot." Yep, but that's what he came out with
he
after.
gonna milk that for all it's worth, huh?
Yeah, he's
Uh-huh.
gonna milk it. He running around here looking like Luke Cage, Vic. He looking like Luke Cage.
Right.
He had
Hey,
to
let
admit he
me
was.
put something on the screen for y'all real quick.
Uh-huh.
Here we go. It says the View host Anna Navarro quips that Trump will ban black performers from performing at the Super Bowl halftime show after Kendrick Lamar's set. So my question is, man, why is whenever we express ourselves and whenever we put together a super dynamite show, they did the same thing when Beyonce performed and she did the homage to the Panthers and
Mm-hmm.
yada yada yada. Everybody was all everybody had they drawers in a bunch. Why are our performances so polarizing for them? Why do y'all think?
As they say, the truth will set you free, or it will hurt you when it smacks you in your face. So a lot of them got hurt that night.
Fire.
A lot of them got hurt that night.
Bars.
Luck know what I got to give Sister Aurora, man. I got to give it
Oh
a
yeah.
fire.
Oh yeah.
That
Fire.
was a
Bars.
compliment. Fire.
Bars.
Bars. You know?
Bars.
Yes. Your thoughts,
Yeah, a lot of them got
Luck.
hurt.
Why do you think that whenever we make a statement about our culture, we've been here for over 400 years within the frame of what this country is about. We might have been here much longer than that. Why do you think whenever we decide to express our culture in our way and with our narrative, it's so polarizing? What's your thoughts?
You know what it is, bro? It's like anything else. The fact that they keep shuffling social studies on our kids without really forget balancing, without just giving us world history as an example, is because they don't want to give world history, because if you could see what you came from and what you were, then you could become that again. So they don't want us to become that again. So this is why every time we take a national stage, like Kendrick was meant to be on that stage, brother. As a lyricist, I'm telling you straight, I am not jealous, bro. I am nothing but happy for that young man, because real talk, he was meant to be on that stage.
Yeah.
He had his Bob Marley moment and he seized it, and he's making it last even longer. Because you were just talking about Black of the Berry. That's a Bob Marley moment that the man had years ago.
Yes.
And now he's having another Bob Marley moment now.
Yes.
Right? The man is having a Bob Marley moment off of a diss record. A diss record.
That leads me to a really great question for everybody at home and my super panel right here, man. We got Locked Out, right, by Anderson .Paak. We got The Message by Grandmaster Flash. We got Rockstar by The Baby during the COVID season. We got Strange Fruit by Billie Holiday. We have Nina Simone's entire catalog. We have
Thank you.
Someday We'll All Be Free by Donny Hathaway.
Yeah.
We got Wake Up by Teddy Pendergrass, and Say No Go, De La Soul, You Must Learn, KRS-One, Express Yourself, Salt and Pepper, Express Yourself, NWA.
Change is coming, Sam Cooke.
Why? Right? Why? What a gift our music is when we can put a sincere message to it.
Mm-hmm.
What a gift! What a gift
It
to
is.
us, and what a gift to the planet. Sonically, vibrationally, the 369, right? The 300 and the 632 megahertz that it takes for music to penetrate the skull and be fruitful within the body.
Bars. Kick it, brother.
What a gift that is. How do we fully appreciate that? How do we fully get into it and fully appreciate that so that it lives on in infamy, and we teach our kids and our kids and our kids to get involved with this, do the root work that it takes to make this live on in infamy. What do y'all think?
Well, brother, good question. I would just say keep playing the music for them to hear it. You know?
And that's true. It catapults. So something like what Kendrick did is to grow on, not to shy away from now. It's, people would try to downplay it because they know that it sparked a move in someone, somewhere, right? And so here it is, 54 years later, after Gil Scott-Heron said the revolution will not be televised, it went live that night. Okay.
Yes, it is.
It went live. Okay. And as a historian and being of the older generation, I'm telling you, everyone in there knew that it was a song like "Here Come My Daughter." Oh, I gotta get my life together. That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of a song with a message. It makes you reflect. It makes you. And I heard some, I call them sugar babies, because they'd rather that sugar. They'd rather that pop music, that sugar, right? That red dye number, that yellow dye number 5, that red dye. They'd rather the comfort food version of music than the reflective version of music. Let me ask y'all this, man. At a time when music sales are at an all-time low, CEOs of music or music companies are getting fired left and right. Buck knows what I'm talking about. With music with a message, or what people used to call conscious hip hop, right? Do you think this can raise a new age of bringing that back? Because we had about a 12-year run of it. From the early 80s up until about 94-ish, right? The Biggie and Jay-Z era, kind of moved that to the side a little bit. Even Pac stopped doing a lot of his conscious work at that point. Do you think with, conscious music being on the biggest stage at the biggest time and being so beloved, do you think that would open up the door for more artists, for the artists of the new generation to be the new Diggable Planets and be the new PRTs and be the new X-Clans and be the new tribes? What do y'all think?
It's possible. It's possible. This brother right here, you see, like this brother right here is a representation. How could I say? He is the apex of quite a few of us that still write lyricism. You know what I'm saying? He's the apex of it, though. I can admit it. He's the apex. A guy like me want to make some music and just put it out there. You know what I'm saying? This brother is saying, nah, I'm not just putting it out there. I'm about to stomp the stage, every stage all over the world with this one. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. Give him his credit. That's why I say I'm not jealous. I'm very happy. I'm elated because you know what? You know what it's like? You're a Japanese anime fan, Vic. So you know what it's like? It's like when Goku get powered up and going up against the big villain that's dominating the world, and then
Mhm.
all the other Super Saiyans around him get powered up over inspiration. That's what this moment is right now for all of us. We see
Mhm.
somebody like that carrying that torch, carrying that torch very strongly. We want to be involved. We want to say, you know what? You touch him, you trying to mess with all of us. You know what I'm saying? We don't know him. We don't have to know him. He's
Right.
part of our community one way or the other. They say a village. You know what I'm saying? The village raise a child, child raise a village, vice versa. Then guess what? You know what? That's what this situation is right now. He's the child that the village lifted. I mean, his peoples
Mhm.
down in Cali definitely feel that way about him. They got 100 toes down on the ground for him, and I respect that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And even on this side of the, they're about the West Coast with the East, whatever. Hey, it's like I get on all these people blogs and they'll leave little messages for them and they answer me back and stuff. A lot of them. And I'm telling them I'm from New York, but guess what? I'm feeling his movement. I'm part of his movement. Yo, just clear the path for that brother. Let him do his thing, daggone it. You know what I'm saying? Let him
Mhm.
get down, bro. This ain't about East Coast, West Coast nonsense. You know, no. This was an isolated incident. Drake is not from the East Coast. He's from the North. Let's be clear. And put aside all of that, he not like us anyway.
Right.
Yes,
He the
sir. Yes,
Degrassi
sir.
MC.
That's
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lastly, Gracie Witcher, right? She was responsible for sewing together what we know now as the American flag, not the one that came out of the Betsy Ross,
Betsy Ross.
whatever thing, but Gracie Wisher and a room full of black sisters who were the seamstresses to put together the uh, American flag. I thought when Kendrick did the Squid Game jumpsuits and everybody
Mhm.
was formulating like the flag, I thought that was like a full circle moment
Mhm.
for a lot of folks who put it down, um, that they're trying to erase the history on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Gracie Wisher helped to, she was one of the main seamstresses of the American flag, right? And if it wasn't for Brother Robert Smalls, the North might have lost the war.
Mhm.
He was damn near G.I. Joe, taking over Navy vessels and all type of crap, right?
Yeah.
And then also went on to become an elected official and start the first public school initiative in the country.
Teach.
So we wouldn't even have public school the way it is today if it wasn't for those people putting it down. And do y'all think that this was a full circle moment, on the biggest stage of the world, to bring homage to a country that wants to hide the contributions of our folks? What do y'all think?
I think it was very well done and intentional to send that message out that Kendrick
Mm-hmm.
sent out. Every step and every picture and every, just like the one that you just showed, was intentional, and it was done with intent so that people around the world, and especially us in the world, would sit there and as was like Scream at the end of his movies, wake up. Okay. If that wasn't that moment, then because again, even the younger folks that I was around and telling me about the game, they were putting the analogies about the game of life, and how that works out. So if
Boom,
they
love it.
got that same message that I got, that this is about the game of the life that we got to go through, then it was
Fire.
purposeful and well done. So yes.
Yep. Facts. Well
Yeah,
said.
Mhm.
Well said.
Yeah, man. Anybody else? Anybody got any last words about this? I thought I I thought we could take a different take on talking about the Kendrick piece, because I wanted to talk about the power of, you know, music with a message. You know what I'm saying? And not, you don't, as much as you hearing people quibbling, and that's why I got on the flyer. I got my man Screwface on here talking about stop the blood clot crying, right? Stop crying and
I
appreciate
like
what you're seeing.
Screwface. I like Screwface. I like
Yeah, that's
Screwface.
my dude, man.
Yeah, I like Screwface.
You know, and a lot of people don't know that the Screwface movie was talking about the bar and the car. All right, next show. I don't want to jump down that rabbit hole. But anyway, we'll do that one show. We'll talk about the Screwface movie and, you know, the Oriz and the Orisha and what he was doing within the frame of that set that could have been brought out and would have been an even deeper movie than what it was. But that's what I put on here. Listen, man, we're getting ready to get out of here. It was a dope show. I want to thank Sister Aurora. I want to thank Brother Godspeed. I want to thank everybody on all our channels that were listening, participate, and please watch the replay. Please timestamp anything that you think is relevant. Remember, on our channel, Black History and Our Melanin is live 365. We do it all year long. Y'all tune in.
That's
y'all will see us do our Stolen Legacy moment, our Elders and Ancestors moment. Y'all will see that all the time. We don't need a month. Don't need nobody to tell us to celebrate us. Let's go.
That's right.
So y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Make sure y'all comment and turn on all your notifications so that every time we have a Real HD show, y'all can join. We can all have a higher discussion. With that being said, I'm gonna say everyone good night. Peace. Y'all be safe and y'all walk with power. Y'all walk with power. We'll see y'all on Monday.
Peace. See you. Bye.